Some stories don't begin with applause. They begin in silence. In the back of a classroom, on the last bench. This is the story of a boy who was never seen until he found the courage to be heard. The last bench, a tale of quiet strength, hidden talent, and the moment that changed everything. Act 1. The Invisible One. Noah Carter had mastered the art of invisibility. He sat on the last bench in every class, tucked behind taller students and louder voices. His notebooks were neat, his homework punctual, but his presence was barely felt. Teachers rarely called on him. Classmates passed him in the hallways without a glance. Even at home, his parents, loving but distracted, assumed he was just quiet. But Noah wasn't empty. He was overflowing. Every night, after the world had gone quiet, he wrote. Stories poured out of him. Vivid, emotional, cinematic tales that danced between fantasy and truth. He filled notebook after notebook, each one a secret world where he mattered, where he was brave, where he was seen. No one knew. Not his parents, not his classmates, not even himself, really, because Noah didn't believe his stories were worth sharing. He believed he was just a last bencher, and last benchers didn't change the world. Act 2. The Spark. It was a Monday morning when Ms. Jensen walked into room 204. She was young, sharp-eyed, and carried herself like someone who saw more than what met the eye. Her first act as the new English teacher was simple. Write me a story, she said. Anything. No rules. Just your voice. Noah hesitated. He stared at the blank page for hours. Then, just before midnight, he wrote. He didn't sign his name. He didn't want to be seen. But he submitted it. The next day, Ms. Jensen stood at the front of the class, holding a single sheet of paper. I read something last night, she said, and it moved me. She began to read aloud. It was Noah's story, a tale of a boy who lived in shadows but dreamed in color. The room fell silent. Even the usual chatterboxes leaned in. When she finished, she looked around. Who wrote this? No one spoke. Noah's heart pounded. He wanted to raise his hand. He wanted to disappear. Ms. Jensen smiled. Whoever you are, you have a gift. Act 3. The Reveal. The next day, Noah stayed after class. I wrote the story, he said quietly. Ms. Jensen looked at him, surprised. Then she smiled. I knew it. Noah blinked. You did. I've been watching you, she said. Not in a creepy way, but you listen. You observe. You feel. That story could only come from someone like you. Noah didn't know what to say. Ms. Jensen leaned forward. You're not invisible, Noah. You're just quiet. And quiet people often have the loudest hearts. From that day on, she became his mentor. She gave him books. She challenged him. She made him believe that maybe, just maybe, his words mattered. Act 4. The Rise. One afternoon, Ms. Jensen handed him a flyer. National Young Writers Contest, she said. You should enter. Noah stared at it. I'm not good enough. You are, she said. And you need to stop waiting for permission to believe it. He went home and wrote. He poured everything into that story. His fears, his hopes, his silence. He submitted it. Weeks passed. Then, one morning, his name was on the school bulletin board. Winner, Noah Carter. His story would be published. He would be flown to New York for the awards ceremony. His parents cried. His classmates stared. Ms. Jensen hugged him. The last bencher had become the headline. Act V. The Message. At the school assembly, Noah stood at the podium. He looked out at the sea of faces. Some curious, some proud, some still skeptical. He took a breath. I used to think silence meant weakness, he said. But silence can be strength. I used to think being invisible meant I didn't matter. But I've learned that you don't need to be loud to be heard. You just need one person to believe in you. And that person can be you. The auditorium erupted in applause. Ms. Jensen smiled from the front row. Noah walked off stage, no longer the boy on the last bench. He was the boy who rewrote his destiny. End of story. Noah Carter was once just a name on a roll call. Today, he's a voice that echoes far beyond the classroom. He didn't shout. He didn't demand. He wrote. He believed. And in doing so, he proved that even the quietest soul can stir the loudest hearts. The last bench, because sometimes the most powerful stories come from the places we overlook.